Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder we're going to be going over some of the few changelogs that we've had over the last few weeks, and the major one which has hit today as well, which is quite a large one, mainly for aircraft. But the other two things we're going to cover is, first of all, there was a stream today where Gaijin did a sneak peek at the Operation Heat vehicles. I covered it on the channel. It was the live stream that was earlier. If you want to catch it out, you can see it on the War Thunder official Twitch channel, and also if you want to see my personal commentary, you can check out that live stream. On top of that as well, they did a Russian stream as well, and I just want to thank Kate for the information, who's a trusted occupant over on the Tech Hub server. He went through basically what they said about the vehicles, but the main thing I want to cover, which I didn't cover too much in the live stream or wasn't covered on the English stream, was they answered some questions at the end. And the questions that were answered were that they are fixing the desync issues with shells disappearing. So as I said before, when it came to the changelog, that they said that they had fixed shells, a lot of people took this as the ghost shell idea would be completely gone from the game, and as I said in that video, there is no way that means that. Instead, what it means is they have fixed a problem that is causing the issue, and they will be fixing other problems going down the line. That seems to be what they're doing right now. Also, the servers are not registering the different actions in the battles, so that seems to be a major issue. Hopefully that can definitely be fixed. And then also they talked about having a new Italian SPAA, but this was after clarification more in the form of they were talking about parity between nations and the idea that Italy doesn't have a SAM system in any way. So therefore, maybe in the close future, we'll be seeing an Italian SPAA which will be, or will have 80 gems on it, or sorry, will have missiles on it, you know, anti-air missiles at some point. So yeah, those are the three things I wanted to cover. Understand that they're working on some of the issues that people have brought up recently. Another thing as well is a lot of people asked me to comment on this, so I will do. I talked about it on the stream, but there was, according to a lot of people, censorship when it came to the official streams. Many people saying, you know, fix the game and all of this stuff. And there is, unfortunately, a time and place for these things. Generally, if I do a stream talking about a specific vehicle and everybody is battering me about another vehicle which I'm not showing, it doesn't really feel correct. In that stream, the Operation Heat stream, the whole point of that stream was to show off the vehicles which are coming in Operation Heat, talking about their various statistics, talking about their playstyles, and giving some inside information to the community. If all the community does is spam the idea of fixing the game, whatever that means, it is never going to be received well. It makes absolutely no sense in the context. If they were doing a Q&A stream, or if they were doing a suggestions thing on the forums or something like that, then maybe you could throw in statements like that. But at the end of the day, it is completely useless doing it in a neutral environment where you are being shown vehicles. Like, there is absolutely no reason to bring up the fact, you know, that you want the game fixed, once again, whatever that means, because the topic at hand was the vehicles themselves. It makes no sense in the context of, you know, what was going on. And also, one thing I do want to point out, everyone wants fixes in the game, but you need to define what you want fixed. This is a massive issue with the community right now, and I'm seeing it all over the place. There is even a thread on the War Thunder Reddit where people are challenging the fact that, you know, people are saying we want the game fixed, and that is good. We're seeing pushback against this idea of people just saying fix the game, because saying fix the game doesn't mean anything. In a broader term, it doesn't mean jack, because everyone has different solutions to what needs to be fixed. Everybody has different opinions on what needs to be fixed, and nobody can agree on what the fix is, or doesn't have solutions to any of the problems that are pushed forward. And other people don't even have problems. They just like shouting fix the game. Whenever you talk to people generally when they are incredibly pessimistic about the game, they always say two things: BR decompression, or BR compression, or whatever side of the argument they're on. And the other thing is the idea of maps not being good enough, or maps not being great. Well, we need solutions, and the solutions need to fit into the ideas of the risks that you take. If you decide to lower the BR range of, of the matchmaker, what you have to endure is longer queue times, and at the same time you will just make a bunch of more broken BRs, which people will either stay at the top of or be at the bottom of. That is just the facts. You can see in World of Tanks this is the same. They have a much more shorter tier system, which also shows this issue at certain tiers. The other thing as well, maps. As a community, people need to come together and start building maps, and then we can start critiquing them and working out what is wrong with them, what is right with them, and go forward. Because I am bored of hearing maps are bad. This doesn't mean anything to me. It means absolutely diddly. What you need to do is work out, if you think the maps are bad, you need to lay out the reasons for each map being bad and solutions for the maps being bad. And then we can talk through the solutions and work from there. But just screaming that things are bad is not ever going to fix anything. It's as simple as that. So please, if we are going to be critiqueful, or if we are going to be critiquing, we need to have solutions to the problems, and you also need to define your problems in the first place. Like Sean and BVVD were doing that stream to show off the Operation Heat vehicles. Not to be... well, not really attacked, but not to be bombarded, I think is the best word, with stuff which is nothing related to what they're showing. There was no reason for it, and I hope that in the future it will be done in a better way, let's just say from a community point of view, because there is no way of responding to it without, actual questions being asked instead of just being spammed with random rubbish. And as a person who in the past has been spammed with just random rubbish from individuals, there's not a lot you can do. You just sit there and you go, well, great, okay, well, we'll move on soon. Right, so simple as that. Anyway, I did enjoy the stream from earlier. It was nice to see the new vehicles. We had a good chat. I had a personal Q&A on my stream. Hopefully we can see more content like that. I do like when, Sean and some of the others do pre-release content, for the updates. I think that's great. I really hope they push forward with that, and I hope the community is receptive to it. Anyway, let's get into the changelogs themselves. The first one is from update 1.89.1.126, and it's a simple one. So a marker which indicates leads where torpedoes will strike land has been added to the aircraft torpedo site in aircraft RB. So pretty much the old system for torpedoes, so you can see where they're going to go, you can see how long it's going to take to get to the enemy, and so on and so forth, has been added back in. So this will make torpedo bombing a lot easier for many individuals. For me, I didn't see it as too much of an issue in aircraft AB, but it's still lovely to see. And then we have a bunch of changes, mainly to top-tier Soviet vehicles in update 1.89.1.152. Oh my god, sometimes it's hard to say them. And the first one is respawn points for the fleet in the mission La Manche has been changed. Well, that's good. A bug where proximity sensitivity in the view settings affected joystick response in a battle has been fixed. Now, when using a joystick, the sensitivity of the roll, pitch, or yaw will not be changed when zooming in. So that's good for, of course, joystick players. Then, the PR159 and PR35 got changed. Remember that the PR35 is just a slightly better version of the PR159, at least when it comes to real life. There is a bigger brother of both of these machines, which I'm sure eventually we will see in the game. The low fire rate reload of the main caliber cannons after completion of the first order ammo racks has been fixed. That's nice, actually, because there was definitely a problem when getting rid of that, first order ammo rack You'd have to reload, then wait for it to fill again, and then go on. And it was just a pain, really. So I'm happy that that has been fixed in a way. And then the time when switching ammunition types has been changed from 15 to 3 seconds. So now there is a reason to actually bring HE and also proximity HE. Since before there was no reason to bring proximity, because in my opinion proximity always explodes a little bit too early for it to do a ton of damage. So it was much better just to bring HE. And also, one of the big reasons you'd take proximity is to deal with planes. The problem is it took 15 seconds to change, which meant that if you saw planes coming in, you didn't have time. You would just be bombed or you would be hit before you changed ammunition. The time to overheat on the main caliber cannons has been increased, so you can get more shots off. The spread of the shell's fire from an overheated barrel has been increased. So you are going to be less accurate at higher overheat ranges, but it will take you longer to overheat. So overall, some, I would say, buffs to the PR35 and 159, especially when it comes to switching ammunition types. That's a big buff. And also the change in the first ammo racks. Overall, very positive for those two machines. Did they really need any help? Probably not. They were incredibly good vehicles, and they still will be. The M42, the armor thickness of the whole bottom has been changed from 32 to 12.7 millimeters, so now that should make it more vulnerable to artillery and also HEing under it. But generally, the M42, if you want to deal with it, the way is just to machine gun the guys on top and then maybe put a shot through the hull structure of the machine. The elevation speeds of the cannons for the following tanks have been changed. The T80U is going up to 4.4 degrees per second. The T80B is going up to 3.35 degrees. The T72A is going up to 3.5 DPS. The T64B, 3.55 DPS. And the T64A is going down, actually, to 3.35 DPS. So overall, these are buffs to every machine apart from the T64A, which is bringing it down to a similar level that we see from other machines. So instead of it being incredibly high at 4, it is coming down to 3.35, and the T80U going up to 4.4 degrees per second. So this will help you in a lot of situations, being able to get the gun on target, whether it's against air vehicles or ground vehicles. Overall, a nice positive change for those top tier Soviet vehicles. And by the way, I've seen a lot of people talk about repair costs and stuff, and I do think at top tiers it is definitely an issue. There are a few vehicles where it is crazy expensive to run them, and it's time to work out why that is and also if it needs to be changed. I'm sure we can come to an agreement on some decreases for specific vehicles. But if you want vehicles which can still turn a profit, the top tier Soviets are generally quite cheap to run. So if you want, to play top tier gameplay, maybe try the Soviets out and make it cheaper for yourself if you're struggling for Silver Lions. A bug with the operations of stabilizers when deactivated in AB mode, where guidance speeds for the following tanks would increase, has been fixed. The T64A, T64B, T72A, T80B, T80U. So that's a nice little change for the arcade machines. I don't know why you would ever turn a stabilizer off. I suppose in arcade you don't really need it because everything is incredibly stabilized anyway. But it just seems a little bit odd, why would you ever turn it off? But if you do, at least now it has been fixed. So the bug there has been fixed. Now the next one is the big one. So updates 1.89.1.162. This is talking about the damage relayed when it comes to how to deal with assists and kills. Remember, they changed how kill credit worked a while back, and now they have once again changed how serious damage works, which is, kind of nice. They've made it easier for individuals to get kills. It's as simple as that. So what they've done is the serious damage, which before was pretty much just critical hits, is now a vehicle receives 50% of damage relative to the total destruction of the vehicle. That is a hefty amount. Destroying any part of the vehicle, so that could include a wingtip, that could include an elevator, a rudder, or given damage leads to a leakage of oil, water, or fuel. So you could just hit someone with with just one hit of like 792 and make the oil come out of the water, and that would class itself as serious damage. Now remember what serious damage means. Serious damage is the activity timer for it is 15 seconds, conditions required when assigning to the target, blah blah blah. So when you do serious damage to a vehicle, if you have a look up here, they've changed all of this, which is really annoying. But basically you have the critical damage, which is 90 seconds. So if it dies in 90 seconds, you get the kill. If it dies in 15 seconds, you get, of course, the kill once again, and it's reset at the end of the timer. And also, the conditions required, I've already read that, so yeah. If you want to have a look on how this stuff works, make sure to check out the wiki article on it. I've been through it before. It's a little bit confusing, but they've just made it easier now for you to actually get kills. So serious damage they've made easier, so as I said, easier to get kills. And now the other one is now an enemy that exits his vehicle, or her vehicle, will be counted as shot down, and the kill will be credited to the closest enemy within a 5-kilometer radius. This will occur under the condition that there is no active damage on the vehicle that will count as a kill for another player. If it has been designed to deal with situations where the player leaves the aircraft to avoid the possibility of an enemy getting hit, for example, during a pursuit. So pretty much what you can't do now is just J out if you see somebody coming after you. We've seen a lot of videos of individuals who, especially in bombers, once the fighters got to their level, would just J out. And this meant that nobody got the kill credit, and what that would mean is that everybody just wasted their time. And it is very much a, let's call it a dick move from individuals, but you've got to try and build in stuff into the systems itself to try and deal with these moves so people can still get their credits. And this is pretty much what they're doing. So if somebody J's out in a 5-kilometer radius, then whoever is closest will be credited with the kill. This is only a positive thing. This means that more people are going to get kills, more people are going to get silver lions, more people are going to get research overall. The only issue, of course, is whether they actually worked for that kill or not, or whether, you know, this affects some other areas. There is always going to be discussions on whether this new system is going to unfairly give people kills when they didn't deserve it by just being in the right place at the right time. And yes, that is true, but I think we can, you know, we can deal with that. And also deal with the other issue. You know, it's a small compromise to make to deal with the overall larger issue, which is when you set up a kill perfectly and then the individual J's out, we get rid of that idea. So for me, getting rid of that idea is much more important than certain individuals every so often getting kills that they didn't deserve. So yeah, it's kind of like a 99 positive, 1% negative idea. So overall, very positive. The only question I have about this new system, which is a little bit worrying, is the idea of how is it going to work with airfields. So normally, especially with fighter aircraft, if I'm in like a P-51 or a P-47 and there is only one enemy on the enemy team, and you know, maybe I'm low on ammunition, maybe I'm low on fuel, I'll go back to the airfield, I'll land, I'll pick up bombs and rockets, and then I'll go out and kill some ground targets. If I J out on the airfield to pick up bombs and rockets, will that count as a kill for the member who is around me? And therefore, will I be able to spawn back in? You see the problem here. So I just want to hope that that has been thought of, because otherwise there may be a few issues when it comes to that idea where, you know, people will just hover around airfields and just wait for people to turn up, and then when they J out, they'll just get a random kill. So that is something I would like to be at least looked at. Also, with a lot of ground forces maps, this will mainly be an issue in ground forces, but also in air realistic, especially at higher tiers. In ground forces, the airfields are incredibly close to the battlefield zone. So 5 kilometers is not that long of a distance, especially in ground realistic where you don't have markers, so you can't tell how far you are away from machines. So if you decide to J out and change a bomb load or maybe change weight in certain ways, will you be able to come back in, or will you be credited, or will the enemy be credited a kill while you just sit there and you're technically dead? So hopefully they've thought about that issue, and if that is not the case, and instead this only affects people who are in the air and J'ing out, then this is a great fix and a great solution to an ongoing problem that's been in the game for a long time. So that's good. We have much more clarity when it comes to how damage works when it comes to War Thunder, so overall this is only really a positive change, with a few issues, as I said, when it comes to people deserving the kill or not, which will always be up for discussion. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, John Ryman, Martinez, Moxie, Alobralo, Super Cacti, Grisvolk, Elove Goat, and Seductive Trash Can for supporting the channel.